Hey, welcome to another junior number video. This video is going to link fractions, decimals, and percentages all together. We've kind of done fractions and decimals separately, and decimals and percents, fractions and percents, but now we're linking it all together and talking about what we've been chatting about over the last few videos. So basically, this is what we've chatted about, and you need to get your head around how we convert fractions and decimals and percents. Now let's kind of break this up a bit. If you want to go from a fraction to a decimal, we've talked about taking the top number and dividing it by the bottom number. If you want to go from a decimal to a percent, we multiply the decimal by 100. If you want to go from a percent back to a decimal, you divide by 100. If you want to go from a percentage back to a fraction, we know a percent's out of 100, so just write it as a fraction out of 100. Now, the only thing I haven't got on this diagram is what if you need to go from decimal back to fraction? And we have shown you some videos on these tricks, but here's what I like to basically do. If I get asked to take a decimal back to a fraction, I basically take the decimal and turn it into a percentage first, and then turn it back into a fraction by writing it over 100. All right, so whether you want to pause the video and copy this diagram down, but we're going to get into some examples to explain as many of these as we can. Let's go. Example 1. How do I change 7/8 to a decimal? Fraction to a decimal. Well, I just go top number, divide by bottom number. So 7 divided by 8 gives me 0.875. Probably need a calculator for that. All right, number 2, example 2. How do I change a decimal 0.875 into a percentage? Well, I multiply by 100. A decimal into a percent times by 100. So I go 0.875 times 100, and that gives me 87.5%. Right, what about number 3? What if I want to change this fraction into a percent? A fraction into a percentage. So here's the strategy to do that. First of all, turn it into a decimal and then multiply it by 100. So how do I turn a fraction into a decimal? Top number divide bottom. 15 divided by 20 is 0.75. And now I times that by 100 to get it to a percent. 0.75 times 100 is 75%. So 15 over 20 is equivalent to 75%. Right, number 4, we're up to this. How do I change a percentage to a decimal? Well, to change a percentage to a decimal, I do the opposite of times in 100, I divide 100. So 61 divided 100 gives me the decimal of 0.61. Right, we're up to number 5. I'm changing a percentage back to a fraction. Well, I know a percent's just out of 100. Percent means out of 100, so 55% just means 55 out of 100. You can simplify it if you want. All right, and this is our final example. This is that little one I said at the start of the video. If you need to go from a decimal back to a fraction, you can use strategies if you want. But basically, this is the technique I like to use. I like to take 0.48 and turn it into a percentage by timesing it by 100, and that gives me 48%. And then I know a percent's out of 100, so I'm just going to write it as 48 over 100. All right, that's us done. So thank you so much for watching.